What about murder hornets?
I don't, knock on wood, I'm hoping we don't have to worry about murder hornets.
Do we have them in Arkansas?
No, I think they've only been seen in Washington, D.C., I think is where it was.
The ones that were in the news last year, they've only Washington State.
Okay,
because
Washington
I think
State.
they came from Asia, and so they were accidentally imported or something like that to the West Coast.
Yeah, so they were keeping a pretty close eye on it. So there was only a couple. I think they found them and eradicated them. So hopefully they're not coming around.
But those are different than the hornets that you see and the wasps that get into honeybee hives typically, right?
Correct, yeah. So most of those are carnivorous, so they're actually going in to eat the bees themselves.
Right. Yeah.
So the murder hornets, they're just a lot bigger. And they actually, where they came from, the bees have found a way to kill them. But it's pretty nasty. So, because I think like 6 or 7 of those hornets can take down 40 or 50,000 bees, and
they rip their heads off.
Yeah, they chew them to death, and the bees can't attack them enough to kill them. So what they actually do is they'll actually swarm the hornet. Side note, so when bees are in the hive in the winter, they just get in this cluster. They just get in a ball. And they basically run in place. So instead of flying, they unclip their wings. Their wings will unclip, and they can sit by their side. And they fly their wings, except they're not going anywhere. That's how they produce heat to keep the hive warm. So that's why they make honey, is to have food for energy to do this, to survive through the winter. So anyway, so when the murder hornet comes in, what they found is the bees basically just ball the murder hornet and then start doing this and basically cook it alive. They kill all the bees that are in this ball, but it kills the hornets also.
It's so metal. It's so cool.
Metal.
It's so cool. Because you think like they're going to sting it or something, like bees do. But yeah, they cook it alive in a little bee oven that they make out of their own bodies. It's so crazy.
Yeah, so it's pretty nasty. But
Gray, you sure do know a lot about bees.
Well, I was telling him before we started, my husband took an apiculture class in college. And then, I'm a gardener, so like they go hand in hand. Have you heard of the... I'm going on a tangent. It's like the honey made from the dew of aphids, aphid honey. Have you ever heard of this?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, so there's like a species of aphid that drinks sap, and then they create this like sugar byproduct that honeybees will harvest off the back of the aphid and then make a special honey. And apparently it's like a clear honey.
Yeah, I think I have heard of it. I just didn't realize that's what it...
It's like it's an aphid. It's basically like aphid poop honey. But apparently it tastes very sweet and light and
It'll be aphid
delicate.
poop and then bee throw up. Did you know that honey is bee throw up?
Yeah.
No.
It is.
Gross.
So that whole process is actually how honey becomes honey. They get bacteria from their gut.
How many times do they do that?
A bunch.
When do they quit doing it?
So nectar is real high in moisture content, and honey is very low in moisture content. So when it's below 18.5% moisture content, it will not go bad as long as it gets sealed up. So that's what they're doing, is they're drawing the moisture down.
They throw up into that honeycomb?
Well, actually, they'll throw up another bee's mouth first. Then
they'll spit it back and forth.
They do it back and forth.
And then when do they put it in the honeycomb?
As it starts getting down lower content, they'll put it in the honeycomb. They can actually fan their wings over it and get the moisture down to... They're trying to get the moisture off of it. If it's not enough, then they'll suck it back up and spit it back out, and suck it back up and spit it back out. They just keep going.
These are weird.
If you liked this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking on the picture in the center of the screen. For more of Kerry's interviews, click either video on the right of the screen. And as always, thank you for watching.